Episode 609, Brain Candy Podcast. Sarah Louise
Woo!
and Susie Louise here.
Sarah Louise and Susie.
I wish.
I wonder how many people who are listeners actually have the middle name Louise. Those lucky ducks.
I think a lot of people, but I wish everyone's middle name was Louise. I truly do.
First name, G's.
Yeah. That is just like, it's just the best middle name. Fight
really
me.
is.
I don't know.
Fight me.
How's Sarah today?
Oh, Sarah is doing well, as always. I'm doing extra well because I have all my belongings. I'm so finally. I mean, it wasn't easy.
I can't believe, like, when you text me and you were like, I just slept on my bed for the first time in 5 months. That's
5
insane.
months. I couldn't believe it. I was like, is that for real? And then I did the math. I'm like, yeah, that's it.
That is something else.
And it felt really, 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 really good. It was a mattress on the floor because I didn't put my bed together yet. But still, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I do have to complain a little bit, though.
Oh, good.
You listeners always get to hear that from me.
Mm-hmm.
This there's no such thing as a stress-free moving situation or even like an easy one, anything like that. They're always going to be difficult. I do understand that.
Sure.
But I got a text on Thursday saying, your stuff is good news, which that was stupid that it said good news. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, not
That
good
means
news. I
trouble's
paid
brewing.
for this.
Yeah, good news.
It's just the facts. Like, you're just giving me what the contract says. And pretty
Right.
late, too. Not good news. Actually, bad news that it's so late. We're sorry for the delay is what
Right,
should
like
have
it'd
been the
be
start
like if
to
you
that.
bought a movie ticket and then before the movie they were like, good news, we're going to play it.
Right. I'm like, yeah, I certainly hope so.
Correct.
You know? Right. Thank you. Because already I was thrown off by that. They said, we're going to be delivering your stuff in 2 to 3 days. That was on Thursday, which implies that they'll be delivering Saturday or Sunday. So
It does imply that. Mm-hmm.
I call the company back, and the middleman, which I now learned is this person's job. And I was like, hey, do you think it's going to be on Saturday? Because Sunday is Easter. And they were like, oh, no, it's definitely not going to be on Saturday because they can't drive that many miles. And we don't deliver on Sunday. So it's going to be on Monday or Tuesday. So I was like, okay,
that
so
makes
it's
sense.
not 2 to 3 days. It's
Right.
really 4 to 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And then if that's the case, then I have to do some moving around of things. I got to cancel clients. I need to know. And so she's like, oh, yeah, don't worry. I'll make sure. I'm going to call you 24 hours before. Don't you worry. 24
Famous last words.
Saturday comes. Yeah, right. Saturday comes and goes. No call.
No call.
So last I hear, they don't deliver on Sundays.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Did hear that. Then at 10 a.m. on Easter morning, thank goodness I decided to stay at home. I get another message that says, we'll be there to deliver your stuff at 3 o'clock.
Wow.
Okay.
Or like he is risen and your stuff's coming.
And your stuff is here. Okay.
It's an Easter miracle /
It is an Easter miracle. And he arrives, and then my boyfriend and I are like putting bets on what time we think he's really gonna be there. And he guesses 4:46, I guess 4:18. We were both wrong. He was there at 2:16, which is fine.
Early
They
bird.
never get there early. That's fine. Thank goodness we didn't go out to lunch or something like that. But then he arrives, and it's like, oh, it'll be a little while because I got to call my helpers and the people who are going to come unload it. Because this is the guy who's driven the truck from Chicago, which is weird that my stuff went all the way to Chicago.
Wait, what do you mean your helpers?
Like, there's a truck driver. So apparently
Yeah.
my stuff gets driven to some other place where then they put loads together of who's going in whatever direction. And there's a driver who drives all the stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there are unloaders, I guess, people at the location, like movers,
Right. Okay, got
local
it.
people who
Sure,
are going to
yeah.
unload it.
Yes.
Well, we wait and wait for an hour. Now it is 3 o'clock, and he tells us that he can't get a hold of any of the helpers, so he's just going to start moving it all by himself. so now one guy is moving all the stuff. Well, I got stuff that you need more than one person to move. So who the hell do you think helped him move everything?
Right.
We did.
Right.
Not so much me, but my boyfriend. And I did not pay all that money for us to have bad backs the next day. And then also they like a promise like everything will go in where you want it to go. No, it didn't. It all went in the garage because this guy didn't have other people to help him, and it took forever.
That's terrible.
Suze.
Yeah.
It was so annoying.
No, beyond. That's enraging.
I'm like, I can't believe I'm moving on. You know, but it was really nice. Jonathan made it bearable and actually kind of nice and took care of like just all the annoying stuff that I didn't want to do and like moving heavy things. Thank goodness. I would have had a full-blown meltdown.
Well, for real, what would have happened, let's say that you guys are disabled?
Right. Correct.
What
Correct,
would happen?
Susie.
That's
what would
not
happen?
your job.
It's not my job. And then he like, I still pay him all the money?
Would
Full price?
Would he have had to do it all himself?
Correct.
Well, that's sad for him.
Right. I felt
too.
really bad for him.
Yeah. Did you tip him?
Yeah. Well, the company then tried to rip me off an extra $300 and say that they needed to hire a smaller truck because they couldn't get the 18-wheeler into my neighborhood. And then I asked the driver, and they were like, oh, it'll be an extra $300 for that. And originally I was going to give him that. And then I asked the driver, hey, did you need to get another truck to come in here? And he's like, no, this is the one from Chicago. And I was like, motherfucker. So I took that out of their pay and I gave him that tip in a tip.
Oh,
because he was
good.
honest to me.
Yeah,
me.
right.
You get that money that the other guys tried to screw me out of.
Yes, good.
So there you go.
I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, it was really stupid. And I can't believe that I paid that much money to unload my own shit. But I would have just got a U-Haul and hired movers. That would have been like, why did it was, anyways.
Like in some way, you're fascinating to me because in some ways, I think of you as a very lucky person. Like you tend to have like this really great luck in certain ways.
Yes.
But then, like for instance, how like you'll win a challenge, but then someone will take all the money. Because like
the universe is like, you're a winner, but don't get excited about it, bitch.
Like you'll have this great luck, but then all of a sudden at the last minute, it's terrible.
It's like crowbar to the knee. Stay humble.
Yes, stay humble.
I know, but that's what I say is it's highs and lows, you know, because people are like often I'll put something like it was a while back. It was when I was in Costa Rica. And something happened that was like really good luck. And I was like, oh, look at this. Da, da, da. And I put a picture of it. And I had a whole bunch of people that texted me that were like, not a whole bunch, there were like 3, who were like, you're the luckiest person. Oh my gosh. And I'm saying that as I'm carrying my mom to and from the bathroom after like I had to like go and leave like and like caregiving in another country. You know? Like I was like, don't really feel like that at this current moment, but I'll take the wins where I can find them. Highs and lows over here.
Yeah, I mean, you found the 4-leaf clover.
Oh,
things
so
were looking
fast.
up.
So fast.
Lickety split. But then
when
like,
I went back and tried to
do
do that again, it wasn't the same. I mean, I found one, but it took a while.
She found another one, but it wasn't fast enough.
Well, because now we know the science of how to do it. It's very easy. You look for the triangles, look for the squares.
That's all, guys.
That's it. That I'm telling you, people know because they put this to
the test.
To the test.
Yeah.
Pass. Correct life hack. Okay.
Wait.
I have to dive into these stories before I just get caught up.
Well, no, you don't. First, we have to talk about how much we love HelloFresh.
Oh, well, I'm so thankful for HelloFresh because that got me through the last week.
I know.
I'm so, see, I don't do a lot of things. I'm not smart with a lot of logistic stuff, but I was very smart in setting my HelloFresh delivery to come the week that I didn't have anything.
Smart.
Because I had the exact right things. I did have to tell my brother who lives a mile away to bring me a knife to cut the sweet potatoes.
but otherwise, you were all set.
Besides that, if you own a knife, you'll be
good.
okay. You're
yes,
good. It was great.
HelloFresh sends you all the ingredients to make seasonal recipes, and they're pre-portioned ingredients, good to go. You don't have to go to the store for anything. Then you get to make yummy food like miso ramen or like beef tenderloin. Really nice stuff.
Yeah, steakhouse pork chops with the cherry glaze.
Delish. And then, like Sarah said, you can customize it. So, like, if you needed a particular week or a particular day, you can make that happen. And then food preferences, you can say, I want this, I want that. You can pick based on the size of your family. And it's 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality. Come on.
And here's my hack. Say you're just one person. Yeah. Get the meal for 4 people. Then leftovers.
Yeah,
for
for
the next
real.
3 days. Because who wants to cook again?
Nobody. And they're delicious. So
done. There you go.
Go to HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy16 and use code BrainCandy16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/BrainCandy16, code BrainCandy16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. And anytime you guys use our codes, it helps us so much. So thank you for all of you who do that. It's wonderful and a great way to support Brain Candy Podcast.
Brain Candy Podcast. That's a fun way to say it. Brains. Okay, actually, it is really funny that you say brains like that. Kind of like you're a zombie. Like somebody who maybe would eat brains.
Yes.
Because I have what may be, I don't want to oversell it.
Too late.
But this might be one of the most insane stories I've ever discussed on here.
Wow.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
No. First, I'm going to set it up. I should have thought about this because it's just so good. It's like, okay. So, in 2016, on Sunday, July 10th, a man who is remained anonymous for this story, was in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
And he was chucked off of his motorcycle and crashed into some trees in a nearby forest, and his foot was shattered, like bleh, in pieces. Ain't coming back. He would never walk again, and the doctor decided he needed to have it amputated.
Okay.
And the man had one question. Can I keep it?
Oh, no.
The doctor said yes, because legally the doctor, as I learned in this article, has to say yes to that, is because of religious practices where the body has to be buried whole. So you have the right to take your remains. Already. Then then he decided I need to do something with this foot. He
decided that?
Yes.
Okay.
Meaning
like to preserve it or what?
Yeah, he wanted to have it taxidermied or to freeze dry it.
Come on.
He thought, how cool would that be to have like a taxidermied foot standing around the house to use as a lamp or a doorstop or something?
This is something you
quote.
would do.
It is not something I would do. We
sorry.
haven't even gotten to the crazy part of the story yet.
Okay.
He interviewed some people, like went to some taxidermists who all thought he was cuckoo crazy and was like, you're just pulling my leg.
Yeah, right. Stop it.
I didn't even mean to do that, but as soon as it popped in my head, I had to say it. Oh, God. So they all thought he was like having a laugh. So instead, he decided that he was going to cast it in plaster, but wanted to do something with it, almost like to say goodbye or to send it off or whatevs. So he asked his friends, hey, remember that one time we had a discussion of would you ethically eat or would you eat ethically sourced human flesh and you said, yeah, I probably would just to see what it tastes like, well, here's your chance.
No.
And he invited 10 of his friends over and he fed them tacos made from his own amputated leg.
Sarah, come on.
Susie, here's my question to you. Would you ever, if you had the opportunity, eat ethically sourced human flesh?
First of all,
and also, every single question that you have, I have the answer to.
All right. First question.
I hope. Fingers crossed. Except, what the fuck is wrong with him? I don't know.
How do you define ethically sourced?
Okay. So ethically sourced as in it wasn't... So there are no laws in the United States except in... I want to say it's Iowa or Idaho. I think it's something like that. There's only one state where we're eating. Oh, Idaho. Yeah, Idaho is the only state where simply eating human flesh, can put you in prison.
Oh wow!
All other states, there's no law against it. There's a law of buying and selling human meat. There's a law about like taking corpses apart or like doing anything to a corpse.
Right.
And then but it's your own leg. It doesn't fit into that.
Oh, you're
and
saying as long as it's yours?
So as long this person legally owned it, he had to sign paperwork for it to get it. They gave it to him in a red biohazard plastic bag. Mm-hmm. And it somehow, and he's like, it preserved for a while because they did a little bit to preserve it. And just in the same way that meat can be preserved for a while, he put it in the car. Oh, I just saw the picture.
We've lost her.
No,
she
I
tried
was
to
just
hold
like,
it together.
I did, but then as I was scrolling through looking for details, I just like of what I wanted to share. I saw I scrolled over the picture of the nub, and it was too much for me. So yes, so there is it's ethically sourced. It's his own. He legally has the right to it.
Right, he didn't murder anybody.
He didn't murder anybody.
Criterion.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it was taken in, it was ethically sourced. So then, this is there's so many parts of this that are crazy. He reaches out to different friend groups, different friends that
I can't believe he has several friend groups. This guy. I have like 2 friends total.
Yeah, right. He's got different friend groups, let alone different friend groups that are interested in tasting human flesh, where he's had this conversation.
They've all discussed this already.
He said, like, in the article, he said he had to go to different friend groups, but eventually he collected a group of 10 people who were interested in doing it. One of them was a woman whose husband or boyfriend was a chef, and he decided to... he agreed to participate, and he prepared it. So he took it the day before and marinated it in onions and spices and things like that.
I'm so mad right now.
And then fajita style.
Stop it, fajita style.
I'm not kidding. That's accurate.
God.
It was fajitas.
You're saying like one of those sizzling platters that they bring out?
I'm saying 100% it came out, and he was like, careful, the plate's hot.
And then like they cut it like in those strips.
Yeah. It's would you like to see a photo?
Yes.
Oh, Susie, I have all of it. Some of them were too graphic and not included in the article, but there is a link. I did not click on that link because I know one thing is that once you see things, you can't unsee things. So I'm going to send you this picture right here. So here's of what the foot looked like in the X-ray. Like, it's not very graphic, this part. Here's what I'm sending, and we'll put this up on.
Will we? My God!
Those were the chunks of meat, and then they cut it up and mixed it up with some onions.
You know what? This is so unsettling. Oh my God! And I know you're thinking, well, obviously, but no, it's worse than you think.
It is, huh? Wait, I have one more to.
Jesus Christ! It's so. Wait, is this a black guy?
No. Oh, actually, I don't know.
I mean, I just assumed it's a white guy because it's a stupid thing to do.
It's a white guy. They didn't mention it, but now I see the hand. Well, the chef making
the chef is white.
Chef is white. I don't have an answer to that.
Well, I'm just asking because the meat is so dark.
Well, They talk about that in the article as well.
Oh my God. What do they say?
That there is a belief that there's a saying called I guess it's called like long pork or something like that.
Oh,
that like that's what humans taste like. So there's an assumption that humans are like white meat, but that's not true. Where it's a tougher, rougher
meat.
Skin, and it's more of red meat. It's like a darker meat, and
it's like venison.
that came from humans tasting more. Oh God, this is so gross. As it was in the article, and I know this now, that it came from wild boar on Papua New Guinea that happened to be this kind of texture that is similar to human. So it tastes kind of like a wild boar, but they said this particular part of the body, because it was his calf and really tough, had a beefy kind of flavor to it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh wait, his calf?
Yeah, it's the bottom portion of his leg. So his foot and his basically from the knee down was amputated. And so they took apart. I have sent Susie now 3 pictures.
I'm so mad.
She's never eating fajitas again for the rest of her life.
I'm mad. I think I'm more upset about the pan where he is sauteing it with like onions and peppers. Like they're trying to pretend like it's actually fajitas.
Right. And then one of the women had to spit it out. She couldn't do it. Of course. I would spit it out as well. Ugh!
No, you wouldn't, because you'd never put it in your mouth.
Right. Oh, that's such a good point. There are so many things that are... Also, let's play a game. How much do you think it would cost to have a human leg freeze-dried? Because he said he didn't do that because it was too expensive. And then I was like,
oh my God,
so your next option was eat it?
Oh, God. That's okay. So you're saying this was plan B.
This was plan B because plan A was too expensive. Plan A didn't work, which was taxidermy. Because nobody wanted to do that. Plan B was freeze dry it. Muy expensivo. No bueno. Plan C, eat it.
Dinner.
Tacos. Technically fajitas. Ugh. And with other things. Apple strudel, quiche puff pastries, fruit tarts, chocolate cake, gin lemonade punches and mimosas, right? And then fajita tacos. I do have a problem with that menu because it's all over the place.
I feel like there's a pun there, like fajitas. I'm going to work on it. I'll workshop that.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Fajitas. Yes. Feetisjas. I see it, Suze. I get where you're going with this.
Or fajita. No. Feet. I'll work on it, okay? I'm distracted by my nausea.
Tostitos.
Good one.
Okay, sorry. Back to the question.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to freeze dry a leg?
What's the rate of? Well, I guess since you said it's too expensive, what? $500? I don't know.
$1,200.
It's a lot.
What the hell is involved in freeze drying something?
Right. I mean,
that seems pricey.
Yeah, NASA does it, no problem. Maybe it's meat that really... Although that beef jerky, what's that thing on that infomercial where they... the dehydrator?
Yeah, the air fryer, like not air fryer, but like food dehydrator. Oh, yeah. God, Susie, you're making beef jerky out of it. Susie's like, I see your fajitas and I raise you some nice dried meat that you can enjoy throughout the season.
I used to love that infomercial, the Ronco food dehydrator. It really made you think like you loved beef jerky more than you do.
Right. And that you really wanted dried fruits. Like, I was like, I can get down with some dried apricots.
The bananas.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So, okay. They just made tacos instead.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like if you were really brave, you would have not done all that. You would just eaten it plain, like boiled.
I feel like they had to... I think mentally, maybe one person could have done that, but...
I would have vomited for sure.
Oh, for sure. I also heard somewhere, I can't remember where I heard this, but only a certain percentage of the population can actually digest human flesh. It makes the rest of us sick.
I can't.
That it's like a certain blood type or something like that.
God. Yeah,
And
that's the problem.
Well, I mean, it would kind of make sense that like that's not something that would be. I don't know. I feel like that does that part, the science of that like maybe evolution would like make that not a thing, but then in some situations it could be, so those people would survive. And then like, oh God, the images of them cutting it up is like, bleh.
I don't like. I'm sorry.
What's the worst part?
No, I don't like food dehydration, but I also don't like human dehydration. That's why I really love liquid IV. I really love it.
That's such a good
Liquid
segue.
IV hydrates you 2 to 3 times faster than just a plain old glass of water.
No matter what meal you're enjoying.
No matter what. And it is delicious. They have wonderful flavors like watermelon, lemon, lime. They could have used that. Would they have mojitos in that meal? You said they drank mojitos or something?
Yeah, like some gin lemonade drink.
They should have put a little liquid IV powder in there. They would have gotten essential vitamins, which I'm sure were lacking in the meat that they were eating.
For sure.
And it has 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks. So this is like serious biz, people. And it's yummy. And you can just keep it in your purse, your car, your backpack, whatever. And you can grab Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 25% off if you go to liquidiv.com and use code CANDY at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order when you use promo code CANDY at liquidiv.com. Experience better hydration today at liquidiv.com. Promo code CANDY. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to interrupt that.
That was a great segue, though.
Thank you.
Mad props, but...
Wait,
yeah.
so there's pictures of them cutting up
There's
the actual
pictures
leg?
of the entire... So you can find this article at vice.com.
Really?
Yeah. It's titled, Guy Serves His Friends Tacos Made from His Own Amputated Leg.
All right, so what did they think? The one lady
it's kind
spit
of
it
like
out.
an Ask Me Anything, like an AMA. Like every question that you want to know the answer to is on here. It's super long. It's, you know...
But the one lady spit it out. The rest of them said it was what?
So
Gamey?
they said that one guy said that he remembers eating a heritage pig once that was like this kind of boar, like a boar pig that was some of the reddest, most flavorful meat he ever had. It was almost like venison, and he said this was akin to that.
Venison
and then he said,
sucks.
And they said this particular cut was super beefy. It had a very pronounced beefy flavor to it. The muscle I cut was tough and chewy. It tasted good, but the experience wasn't the best. Yeah, no shit. I don't understand where you find 11 people willing to do that. I guess all in the same circle.
Sarah, every single person we lived with in the house on the challenge would do this.
Are you kidding me?
I think they would.
Do you think more people would do this? I am judging a little. I don't know how I feel about this.
It's the same type of person.
Oh my God, Bo.
What's wrong?
What is that noise? Oh my God, Bo's dreaming. She just
for Pete's sake.
a noise by me.
I thought we were listening to her death rattle.
Me too.
What is happening?
I can't wait to hear what that sounds. But I think she's like chasing ambulances in her dream because she just went. So, never heard her howl in my life, but okay. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. I was like, is somebody coming for my leg?
I truly think it's same person that would apply and go on Fear Factor is the type of person that would do this. They like to be able to tell it at cocktail parties and stuff.
I feel like this is the... Oh, God. This is like... This might be the Marilyn Manson listener. Even though
You used to be a fan.
am a former
fan.
fan.
Well, maybe when you were Tuesday's Sacrifice, you would have with the black hair and all that.
Oh God, no! I would have like maybe hung out with people who would have like been like, yeah, let's do it, and then they like chickened out at the last minute because
and your weak stomach prevented you from going full goth.
Oh God, Susie, you are so funny.
It's true though.
God, yes, that did. I mean, I just And then he said that his friends had a really dark humor about it, and so they all made jokes. Like he said, one of his friends said at the dinner table, "Well, today is the day I was inside 10 of my friends at once." So that's the kind of person we're dealing with here.
That's how I know he's
one
white.
of his friends, for sure. And then he said, "Oh, for sure." And then he said one of his friends the next day called him and said, "Hey, just so you know, I pooped you out. Sorry, we're dealing with this."
God.
Yeah.
He called
it a shared bonding experience, though, and that
trauma bonding.
Right, and that it was a way for him to close the lid on that kind of particular part of his
let
life.
me ask you this: if you had a client, I know you hate when I talk about like specific therapy stuff, but if you had a client that said like they did this, would you ever consider thinking, well, maybe that was like a healthy coping mechanism or something?
Okay, so the part he did talk about how it helped him with closure for this. So I'll just read you this. He said the journalist asked him, you wrote that this meal helped give you closure on the accident. What do you mean by that? And he said, it sucked the whole time. I remember flying through the air. I remember getting hit. I remember sitting in the forest and taking off my helmet and feeling this burning pain. I looked down and my foot was hanging off. The picture of the foot all broken and mangled and dirty was on the ambulance. But I was very lucky to be in a place where people were around. I was very lucky that a young woman who was just now graduated high school showed up and put a tourniquet on my leg. She had just taken a first aid course. I was lucky to have an off-duty paramedic show up within 15 minutes. There are so many things that happened in the best way possible. I didn't have any other injuries. It was just my leg. A little cut on the back of my neck. Other than that, I was unharmed. Man, I went back to look at the place I flew through the trees and that are only a half a foot apart. I was going 45 miles per hour when I flipped. I don't know how I got out of there with just that injury. I could have very easily died that day. I remember waking up in the hospital many times and just crying. Remember wondering what my life was going to be like. I talked with the doctors about what we could do, what was salvageable, but there were bones missing and everything else was garbage. I would never be able to walk again. This was around the week that I decided to let them cut it off. I went through this whole experience. This was a pivotal transition time. Here we go. I'm a middle-class white boy. I never had a struggle for anything in my life. I never had been tested properly. I didn't go into the military. I've never been poor or had to struggle for food or housing. I've had it easy, and I recognize that. Before the accident, I didn't properly appreciate my life or the people around me. The outpouring of compassion and empathy I received from my friends and my loved ones really helped me take on the challenge of this big change in my life. So I was taking care of this body part that took care of me for so long. I was paying homage to it and giving it a proper send-off. I have the ashes sitting in a jar in my girlfriend's altar in her living room. His girlfriend has an altar. Totally witchy. I get exactly what kind of person this is. And I'll take it to my grave. It's a part of me. This experience has been a part of me. And things worked out so damn well afterwards. My life got so much better. I left the town I was in. I left a job of 10 years that was killing me emotionally. I moved to another state. I have a way better job that I enjoy the hell out of. I met a woman who I've been with for over a year and a half now, and she's the best thing in my life. I'm so much happier now, and I couldn't conceive of being like this before. It's because of this time where my life was threatened and I persevered through it. So eating my foot was a funny and weird and interesting way to move forward.
Okay. So what would you say to that person? You'd say like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
To each their own.
mean, kind of to each their own. I mean, if that was something, I say, what do you take from the experience? And then he talked about how like he stayed anonymous because he doesn't want to be known as like the guy who's like the cannibal guy who ate his foot, and how that's really not any part of his life at all. It's just this kind of unique, weird thing that he got a chance to do in a healthy and ethical manner. And he said that it's not like he has some crazy hunger to go hunt people down and gnaw their faces off. Like, it's not like that. It's just like this one really unique circumstance where he could do that. It happened to be something that his friends had a conversation about before, and they were like, okay, let's do it. And he cast his foot and kept that as a doorstop. So he did cast it in plaster, which is kind of funny. But, you know, when you read that and you see how the whole thing, I don't recommend this. This is not an this intervention. It's not like, oh, yeah, if you need closure.
Saying, like,
there
nobody
are
got
other
hurt.
ways to get closure. I will say that there could be some, I mean, everybody chose and consented to participate in this. It wasn't like, surprise, I fed you flesh.
Sure.
But like, it would be hard for me to get that image out of my mind once. Like, I feel like I would have to be a vegetarian after that. I feel like everything in my mind I put in my mouth would taste like, I might be a vegetarian this week after just sharing this story.
Right.
I'm going to switch my HelloFresh order to Veggie Box.
Good grief. Well, I guess it's to each their own situation, but I can't imagine.
I mean,
why.
Do you think in a survival scenario, your brain would kick in and would allow you to eat human flesh?
Yeah, I do, because I think that there's almost like you don't even have a choice when you're in that mode.
You don't. And your brain in starvation mode
Yeah.
does crazy things.
Yeah. Truly.
Truly. Starvation is one of the most fucked up, insane things that you could do to your brain. Oh, my God.
It kind of reminds me of the way they describe people who, they're in the ocean too long and they get hypothermia and stuff, and they start acting crazy and aggressive. Do you ever read about those stories where people their boat sinks and then they're there and they're all trying to survive together and then one person like loses their mind?
Yes.
It kind of is like that.
Oh, gosh. The brain does crazy things. Well, it does
it's survival,
the things that it needs to do to survive.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't have any frame of reference or doesn't know what to do, it will do things that break social norms and so outside of like social order and we will easily violate social norms in order to keep ourselves alive.
I'll tell you what I would
survival.
eat though.
Ooh.
Catalina Crunch.
Oh, can I just say, I'm now seeing this everywhere.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's at all the grocery stores up here.
Wow.
I'm getting,
they're,
and now I
sweeping
know
the
what you
nation.
mean by the snack mix.
Oh, so good.
This is the snack. This is like
I'm here
elevated
for it.
snack
The
mix.
snacks are great. I got the variety pack, so I got cheddar, ranch, and then the spicy one. So good.
That's the good one.
Really yummy. Great with a glass of wine and a documentary. I'm just saying. And they also have.
Oh yeah, like a nice white, like a Viognier.
Oh,
hello.
Please. Hello. So these are keto-friendly snacks and cereals and cookies. 0 sugar in the cereal, low carb, 11 grams of plant-based protein. But for me, it's like, that's all great, but it's also delish. So you got to see why it's the fastest growing cereal brand in America, that Catalina Crunch. Just go to CatalinaCrunch.com/braincandy for 15% off your first order plus free shipping. That's CatalinaCrunch.com/braincandy. And if you're not sure which flavor to start with, you can try that variety pack and check out their delicious cookies and snack mixes while you're at it. Again, that's CatalinaCrunch.com/braincandy for 15% off your first order plus free shipping.
Yeah.
Yummy.
So that's my super crazy story.
Truly insane.
Truly.
I don't love it.
Suze, when I discovered this story, it was probably like, and I felt so silly. There were so many stories that I had to talk about last week, and I was like, I totally forgot about everything that I had to share with you. And so I was going to send you this story, but I was like, no, I can't
Save it.
ruin it. I have to have
Yeah.
her hear about this the first time on air because it'll blow her mind. I can't believe it.
It's beyond.
Yes. But I do have another story about a human byproduct, I guess you can call it, sort of, that's being used in a good way.
Okay.
So this researcher who works at the University of Technology in Sydney, her name's Megan Murray, and she is changing the way that we clean up oil spills because her research team tested different materials on cleaning up oil and found that the thing that works the best is human hair. Human hair and dog fur are
What?
remarkably effective at soaking up oil. It's actually its job.
Tell me more about that.
So
What do you mean it's its job?
The human hair we have all these like all these oils and everything that like comes off of the follicles of our hair and or off of our head, and human hair absorbs all the oils. It's like kind of in a way that it really good at that.
It's by design.
By design. It's very effective at soaking up oil. And so
That's just crazy.
They tested human hair. They made these really interesting, like they made these mats. They call them, what do they call them? Hair booms. So they made a few different techniques. So they either make these things that almost look like sausage that they can then drag through the oil, drag through the top, and it like sifts it out. Or they make these mats that are about 1 inch thick, and they weave all the hair, like weave it all together.
Oh my God.
And they're like these huge mats that they can just throw out on top of the oil. So they cleaned up over 4,000 tons of oil in this recent Indian Ocean spill. The spill coincidentally happened 1 week after this study was published.
Oh, wow.
The study gets published in Australia. 1 week later,
and
there's a huge oil spill off of the coast of the Indian Ocean, or in the Indian Ocean. And they go, hey, get that lady who just did that study.
Where do you then source hair for this?
So they've been stockpiling this hair from this place that, like, now that they've been doing research on this for the years since they've been doing this, they have collected 28 tons worth of human hair that's being stockpiled at a place called the Sustainable Salons Depot in Sydney.
God.
And they are stuffed into these stockpiles and stockings to create these hair booms. And they've been sent overseas to help mop up the big old mess that's happening in the Indian Ocean.
Okay. So
very effectively. And they tested them against all the other things like polymers, and there were some like people who had been using recycled cotton. Nobody thought to use hair until the woman came around and was like,
Meg
idea.
knew what was up.
Yeah.
Well,
Meg was like, what's
you go out in the ocean.
Yeah.
You soak it up with your wig or whatever.
Yeah.
And then what do you do with that thing? Like, where the hell do they? How do they even? I need to see a video. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there is a video on Vox that talks all about it. I think there's also one on Vice that talks about it too.
They're taking this stuff out there. It soaks up the oil, and then it's like no problem dealing with it.
Yes,
that's
no
insane.
problem. It similar like they had used human hair before. I think it was used in 2007 in like a small way, but this was nobody had come up with how to make them into these. Yes, the stockpile.
That's really the clincher.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I didn't in anywhere in the article see they do say that it degrades well, that it will just because it's like natural materials. It's not like a chemical. It's this.
Doesn't it fascinate you how, like, the things that we do sort out like this, and then other things that seem so simple just never get solved, like, the common cold or whatever?
Right. Oh,
you know what I mean?
You're giving me the best segues, because I do have another article and another study that the results showed people who did this more severely reduced the effects of the common cold and even its symptoms.
Ooh, okay. Is it fun? Something good?
It's something fantastic.
Is it reading?
It's not reading.
Is it drinking?
You could do it after drinking. Maybe drinking would encourage you to do it or feel more open to doing it.
It's not driving then. What
Definitely
is it?
Not driving. Hugging.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't that cute? There was a recent study that was done on the science of hugs and why we even need to do hugs. It was a really, really cute article. I found it in the Greater Good magazine, and it was a research that was done at Berkeley on hugs, and it was especially like post-pandemic. People have been like
hug deprived.
Not hug deprived, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so the article, it was so interesting. It talked about how hugs help us and in so many different ways.
Yeah, what is the reason, when they wrote this article, are they specifying the cold, or is it all like immune?
it helps. It boosts your immune system, but specifically, the research showed that even cuddling in bed could protect against the common cold by monitoring hugging frequency among over 400 adults who were then exposed to the common cold virus. Researchers found that huggers won hands down in being less likely to get a cold, and even if they did, they had less severe symptoms.
Do you think that it's because, like, you know,
I asked that to cause like exposure to germs.
Yeah, like how teachers don't get sick as much because they're around germs all the time.
But what it did do, that it's the combo of these 4 different things. So it improves your sleep, it reduces the reactivity to stress, it increases well-being and pleasure, and it helps us fight off infection. So I think it's kind of the combination of all those things. Like, we do know that it helps us fight off infection because things like oxytocin and cortisol boost your body's immune response. So yes, it is because we're around more people, but being around more people doesn't just expose us to more germs. It increases the amount of oxytocin and serotonin we get, which helps balance cortisol levels, which helps boost the immune system. So it's a multi-pronged kind of approach to boosting the immune system.
Hugs and human hair coming in hot today.
Hugs, human hair, and, amputation. Yes.
That's crazy.
But I want to tell you more about the hugs before we wind it down, because I have other interesting. I thought that's what you were doing, and I was like, no, wait.
No, I'm saying ready. Like 2 human things on our body are like helpful.
Yes.
For something.
Yeah, there is a theme in this. We can like.
And then the body
together.
part, the amputation. I'm just going to pretend like that didn't happen. We didn't talk about that.
So one of the things that was interesting about the study is they tested what the most optimal hug is. And
get out of here.
Yes. So shorter hugs, believe it or not. So you'd think like a longer hug would feel awkward. The time, the most, like the time we're aiming for is 5 to 10 seconds, 6 seconds being the most optimal length of time for a hug.
What?
You need 6 seconds in order for the chemicals to do their job. And also, it matters, there are some steps involved. So you have to establish eye contact before hugging the other person. Can't just blindly hug them.
Wow. I gotta write this down. Eye contact. Okay.
I'm telling you, this is great for the people who are like, I'm somebody who's maybe like a little out of practice with hugging, or sometimes I get awkward with a hug. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to do one arm over or one arm under, both arms. What do you do? Side hug. So this answers those questions. Okay, First of all, have to establish eye contact before. Also weird if you don't. So just like practice, just look at them first.
Yeah, I don't want to ambush hug.
Exactly. In the same way you can't have an ambush hug. The effects are not as strong, or don't work if you hug somebody who doesn't want to be hugged. Obviously. So
it has to be a consensual hug.
Has to be consensual. This is interesting. Hugging only works if you hug someone who appreciates you.
What?
Yeah. They have to appreciate you and like care about you. Or you don't. It's like, talk about vibes. Explain that one. That's like basically they got to send you good vibes. Right?
Yeah. I'm like, that's unsettling to me.
Here's the good news for people who don't like full body contact. It can be given full body, but it's also effective sideways.
So 6 second side hug.
Totally fine. It should and the last one, it should last at least 6 seconds.
But no, you said 6 was the optimal.
Yeah, 6 is optimal. Seconds. It should last at least, it needs to last 6 seconds in order for you to get the benefits. Yes, it should last at least 6 seconds. But anything shorter than 5 was labeled, like they asked people how they felt about the hugs. Yeah. If it was shorter than 5 seconds, people felt that was awkward.
What?
I know.
I don't know what that means.
A 5 to 10 second hug was described as pleasurable and under control.
Good Lord. If someone hugged me for 10 seconds, I'd be kicking their nuts. Get off of me.
I do it to you.
I know, and I hate it.
No, and you know what? You hate it, but then there's a moment at about 8 seconds where you do this. And you give in, and I go, there. Yes, I swear to God, Suze. And I go, there you go, that's enough. And then that's when I let go.
This happens. Conspiracy theory.
I know it because I do it. This is what I do to people. And I know this because Virginia Satir, the woman who's theoretical model for therapy, I follow and did my like thesis on or whatever you call it for grad school, theory of change paper. She says we need 6 hugs a day for maintenance, 8 hugs a day. Or 6 hugs a day for survival, 8 hugs a day for maintenance,
like
and 12 hugs a day for growth. And she talks about how you need to have, there's a length of hug where it just is like, the body gives a release.
No, it's like we give up. The people that don't really want them, we just like, we give up.
You surrender because your body is
despair.
finally getting the oxytocin and balance it needs.
No.
I'm always giving you. I'm going to get a little timer, and every time I go to Susie, I'm going to click it when I hug her. I'm going to make her hold me 6 seconds. I'm going to hold her 6 tight seconds. But we can do side hug. It'll be fine.
All right. Well, I mean, that would be better.
Yeah.
Because like after a few seconds, I'm like, get off of me.
Yeah.
Not just you. I don't mean
just
specifically
anybody.
You. Yeah.
Well,
like,
maybe you can improve your sleep. Maybe you need to.
Maybe that's the problem.
Maybe that's the problem because they say that. So the thing that kicks it all off, and that the reasons why it feels so good, it has to do all with our sense of touch. This very extremely important sense that helps us to interact with the world around us and communicate with others, maintain social bonds, all that good stuff, and that touch consists of these two distinct systems. One is called fast touch, and it's a symptom of nerves that allow us to like detect contact, like if a fly lands on your nose, and we like flick it off. Okay. And then the second is a slow touch system, and it's this population of these recently discovered nerves. I love this when we discover new nerves, or not new nerves, but new anything in the body. I love that we're still discovering new stuff. So we've just recently discovered these nerves called C-tactile afferents, and it's the second set of nerves that come after that fast touch, like the, hey, something's crawling on me. And it's these nerves that are specifically designed to be effective for like gentle skin temperature touch, the kind involved in hugs and caresses. And they call them cuddle nerves. It's adorable.
And the cuddle nerves do what? Tell me.
They stimulate.
Are activated. Okay.
They process the emotional meaning of touch.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? And the crazy thing is that it starts. These are the nerves that we start sensing in the womb super, super early. It's the nerves that are stimulated from the gentle caress of a mother that has on like lowering heart rate and promoting growth of brain cell connections. It basically sends our skin signals up the spinal cord to the brain's emotional processing network, and then through there like triggers this cascade of hormones to like then start doing their work, and it's like oxytocin and endorphins and serotonin and things like that. So there's the fast touch nerves that are like our first initial like, ooh, something's crawling. And I feel like, so this is really interesting. The way that I was thinking about this when I was reading it, if you've been in a relationship where the person becomes in a way kind of repulsive to you, or you don't like them anymore. Oh my
God, yes.
And you know how in the beginning of the relationship where they'll tickle your arm or rub your arm and it feels so good? Yeah. And then if somebody does that and you're annoyed by them, it makes you want it to flick their arm off like it's a fly, or like it couldn't drive you more crazy.
Yes.
That's because the cuddle nerves are not, we don't get the emotional meaning changes. And so those shift, and then they don't allow for that release.
Yeah, because it's like a
That's
threat.
why we have to appreciate the person.
Oh.
See?
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's so fascinating. This article was so good.
That's
I'm
crazy.
definitely going to send it to you right now and give it to Dahlia so she can put it in the newsletter, because it's so interesting to me, and it was such a good article with so many different.
I mean, it does.
I'm sending
make
it to you
sense.
so I can also remind myself to send it to Dahlia, but I just love it.
Yeah, whenever you put it all together, it does make sense in terms of evolution and how you would want to make sure you are close with people that, can help you survive.
Yeah.
And all that jazz.
Yeah.
Aw, I love your cuddle nerves, Sarah.
Oh, I can't wait to come over and stimulate your cuddle nerves.
Oh my God, I'm going to flick her away like a fly. Just kidding. I think I'm pretty tolerant.
You are. You're super tolerant to me. And you know who I also do it to that always pulls away and resists?
Who?
Lincoln.
No.
I used to always do it to him when he was younger.
So
he doesn't
funny.
resist as much anymore because I think he knows that there's no chance I'm letting him go. But when I was little, I'd be like, nope, come here, give me a hug.
God.
And he would try to pull away and I'd be like, nope. And I just squeeze him for at least 6 seconds.
Yeah, you know how they are trying to encourage people to be more aware of not making kids hug or whatever if they don't want to?
Right.
I'm terrible at that. Because I'm just, for Pete's sake, just give them a hug. I know you're not supposed to, but it's just, I don't know.
We have
I
to
guess
find the balance of because you don't want to, okay. One of the other things this article talked about was it mentioned, or maybe this was another article about it, but it talked about the research that's been done on babies who don't get affection.
Yeah.
Well, there was a second study that was done with that using Harlow's monkey study of the affection and the importance of that. There was and the development on children's brains and babies' brains, things like that, where they looked at the effects of touch or lack of touch on adult brains. Guess what? Same thing. That it causes a shrinkage of the brain if we don't get the physical touch, if we don't get the kind of that's why Virginia Satir says we need 6 hugs a day for survival, 8 hugs a day for maintenance, 12 hugs a day for growth. If we don't have those 6 hugs a day, it affects our immune system, our well-being and pleasure, our reactivity to stress, our sleep.
I don't know anyone that gets 6 hugs a day.
You do. You just don't. You're not counting them as hugs. You absolutely cuddle with your husband when you go to bed. You you reach over, you put your arm around him. You cuddle Lincoln at least in the morning and evening. You're
that's
all
what's so
over
funny.
it. You're getting 25 hugs a day.
Yeah, okay, but I don't think most people are. Do you think most people are getting 6 hugs a day? I shouldn't say I don't know anyone, but I don't know that.
I think people in relationships are relationships where you're around them. I think we don't recognize things as hugs as much, like a embrace that lasts 5 to 10 seconds.
It's a long time.
I think it happens more often. Let's count. Let's do a little test. Count how many hugs you guys are given or receiving or a day.
Side hugs count.
I think side hugs count. I think it's more than you think. And report back your findings.
Maybe this, the woman that you mentioned that proposes this survival
Virginia
technique.
Satir?
Yeah. Maybe she uses the word hug, but maybe it is more of an umbrella term, like just affectionate touch. It
is.
Okay, good.
Because they say cuddling, like co-sleeping with babies counts. Cuddling with, sleeping in the same bed as somebody, cuddling a night. That's a hug.
I can sniff a baby's head and I'm good for 2 years.
Exactly. Think of it we're good. Yeah, totally.
Okay. I hope everybody is getting hugs though, because it's a jungle out there.
It is, and we need it. And so if you're feeling, and also it helps to rebalance things. It has this calming. So if you're feeling out of balance, there was one of the other articles I read was in medium.com was this woman who was kind of using this information to relate it to her own life, where she had been feeling depressed and really anxious lately, and then looked at this research and was like, wait a sec, I haven't touched or hugged anybody in a long time. I need to do this, and I always feel better when my friends come over and they give me a hug. So she went out of her way. Like, she put effort into trying to give hugs and receive hugs and get that balance to her hormones, and it improved a whole bunch of stuff.
All right. Well, that's good. That's a good reminder for people, too, to just, like, be on the lookout for opportunities.
Crappy, give a hug.
I'll have to start with shorter ones, though.
But not ones that feel awkward.
I'll have to work up to the long ones.
You'll have to see.
Now I keep thinking about long pork or whatever you said about that fucking... Anyway, let's wind it down. I should have said trigger warning. Before I get upset.
No joke. We learned a lot today. We learned that Susie will never, ever eat human flesh, and neither will Sarah.
No way.
Unless maybe it were a life or death situation in which our survival brain would take over.
I guarantee you it'd be grosser than those fajitas, too, because you'd just be eating like raw, like sushi, human sushi.
Would it be better if it came with unlimited tortilla chips?
Totally. Everything's better with that. You crazy?
And, like, they really missed out an opportunity. Like, I'm just mad that they didn't do a full, like, themed... Like, they should have done margaritas.
Totally.
They should have done queso dip instead, like guacamole. What are you talking about with your puffed pastries? That doesn't go with fajitas. I was more upset about the inconsistent menu. And then, like, she said her boyfriend's a chef. I'm like, no chef would throw together... I'm sorry, but if you were on Top Chef Restaurant Wars... you would be going home.
Yeah, pack up your knives.
Pack up your...
pack up your knives and limp right out of here.
Oh, God. Yes,
maybe you'll get a deal with, like, the food dehydrator infomercial, though. That would be cool. Like a sponsorship.
Yeah. He didn't try that option. We
should get one. Hey, Ronco, if you're listening...
Susie
I've
would
always
really like
wanted to try that thing.
But don't worry, not for human flesh.
No. Meats and produce only.
Only.
Cleaning up oil with human hair. Dog hair would do too, whatever.
Yes, yeah.
And hug.
And give a hug. Get a hug.
Get
at least 6 seconds. And make eye contact.
Get your cuddle nerves cooking.
Yeah, stimulate those cuddle nerves, baby.
Leave us a 5-star review, subscribe, tell a friend, tag us. We love it.
And
See you next time.